Now this one takes a little more work. The other one's kind of easy because it shows you the vertex, and the vertex is like the key to the whole parabola. But this one doesn't show you the vertex. So write this form down. This form is called Intercept Form. Why is it called Intercept Form? Because what this form shows you is the X-Intercept. Some people might think why, but actually it's the X-Intercepts. So you might want to put that. Shows the X-Intercepts. Alright? So look at this form, write this down. Y equals A. We got A, that's nice. A still tells us all the same things as it did before. But you got minus X minus P, X minus Q. All you have to do is say, oh, this point right here is P. This point right here is Q. Oh, let's put them in here. And then you have your equation. If I told you the X-intercept was 3, 0 and 5, 0, you would just put 3 and 5 in for P and Q, and you'd have your equation. But how do you find the axis of symmetry for one of these things? That's a little bit different. So you want to write this down right here. Axis of symmetry is halfway between P and Q. So look what we do. We take P plus Q and divide by 2 because it's halfway in between. So therefore we have our axis of symmetry is this. Don't use negative b over 2a because that doesn't apply here. And so if you got intercept form, please use this to find your axis of symmetry. Lastly, if a is positive, then it opens up. A is negative, opens down. Same thing as before. Okay, so 3 key formulas so far. We got standard, we got vertex, and we have intercept form. Let's go use it. Alright, so if you, people might need a minute just to copy a couple of things, but here's your axis of symmetry, and this is x equals p plus q all over 2. And then you got your equation here. Just memorize a couple things here and you should be okay. Alright, so let's use it here. Graph this thing right here. Well, very first thing before I graph, find the vertex, find the axis of symmetry. So you just have to remember, oh, this is this is intercept form. It shows you your intercepts. So what are our intercepts? The intercepts are, where does it cross the x-axis? What do you think? Okay. Now here's you have to pay attention to the little details. Go back to the formula. What was it? It was x minus p and x minus q. And here's where people miss that stuff. People understand the concept, but those little things is what gets people. It makes me sad sometimes. I hate it when that happens to people. So always be very, very thorough in what you're doing here. So since it's x minus p, we could change this to x minus negative 3, right? So what is p? Negative 3. This is x minus q is actually just 1. That's where I'll get people right there. So the intercepts are negative 3 and positive 1. Write that down first. Next, what can we get from these intercepts? We can get the axis of symmetry. You just have to remember this. X equals p plus q all over 2. Let's put them in. P is 3, negative 3. Q is 1. Negative 3 plus 1 all over 2 equals negative 2 over 2, which equals negative 1. Axis symmetry is x equals negative 1. So far on our graph, we could find the vertex. We're going to find the vertex in a moment. But I'm thinking this, if it's a rough sketch, negative 3 is my 1 intercept, so I can plot it here, x-axis. Positive 1 is my other intercept, I plot it. My axis of symmetry is x equals negative 1. That makes sense. That's right in the middle. Now we get our vertex somewhere in here. So put in negative 1. So vertex negative 1 comma something. So all you have to do is put it in up here. Put negative 1 in for x. So we'll rewrite it. Y equals 2 times x is now negative 1 plus 3 times x minus negative 1 now becomes negative 1 minus 1. just do a little bit of work. I like finding the vertex with this. This is easier. 2 times negative 2, which gives you negative 8. Everybody understand how I got the vertex? Just plugging in the x equals negative 1, and that'll give you your y value for the vertex. That's also your what then? Your what? Which one is it? Yeah, it's your minimum because this thing goes up. So your min is actually negative 8. So if I asked what's your min, you'd say negative 8. But you don't have to tell me that. Well, I'm not going to be able to graph that one on here. Negative, I'll just put a bunch of things and put negative 8 right here. Now what I want you to do is I want you to get a couple more. Just a couple more points from your calculator. And you can do that later. Okay? But all you have to do is, once again, type that in, go to your table, and it'll show you all the coordinates. Okay? Get a couple more and then you graph it. So that's how you graph something in intercept form.